you look and we have so many fueling stations already for gasoline and for diesel, and other manufacturers are coming out with different type of fuel cell vehicles that are going to include hydrogen. So when you're having hydrogen in itself to begin with, like, that's cool, because if you're very eco-friendly in that aspect, it's only water vapor that's coming out. So it's really cool to see where the technology is going. They were even talking about having some hydrogen fuel cell semi-trucks. Could you imagine semi-trucks, everything that kind of transports all throughout the country, the U.S., North America, but being on fuel cell where it's water vapor and they're using hydrogen, and hydrogen is so abundant. You can get hydrogen from anywhere. So it's cool to see, like we said, where technology and the automotive industry is going.
Yeah, science is crazy. It really, really is, you know, and I don't care if you're talking about medical applications or you're talking about automotive, you know, applications and things like that. Like, it's really crazy. And I think, you know, you see throughout time, you know, like every 100 years, this happened. But I see, like, you know, and there's this curve, you know what I mean? And now we're on such a steep curve, like year over year. I mean, technology is doubling, where, you know, it used to take decades for things to double. You know what I mean? Now it's like, it's crazy. You know, and, you know, we're doing things now 5 years ago we thought were, you know, crazy. I mean, 20 years ago, who would have thought we'd have these supercomputers called an iPhone in our pockets, you know what I mean, that can do virtually anything, you know? Like, to me, it's just crazy. But, you know, circling back full circle, like the automotive industry, I think 10 years from now, a car that we know today is going to be nothing like what we thought, you know what I mean, it would be. I think, really, I don't even think the auto manufacturers know what a car 10 years from now is going to be like, perform like, is going to be, you know?
Well, and that's the crazy thing. And who's to say that Back to the Future cars, you know, what we thought for Back to the Future wouldn't come around full circle. And it's just, you know, I just did a study with Kelley Blue Book, and they were saying now over 70% of people, when they go purchase a vehicle, they want to know what new technology is in there. As simple as it sounds, the number one most asked question that we were getting this past week that we were there 2 weeks, does it come with Apple CarPlay? That's all people want to know. Apple has just solidified the market so much that they're moving into the automotive department where people are like, hey, I don't want to buy a car unless it has Apple CarPlay. That's how crazy the technology is becoming. That's how crazy consumers are becoming about having instant gratification, all the technology, all the bells and whistles. It used to be how fast, how much horsepower, how much torque do I have? Now people want to know, does it have Apple CarPlay?
Yeah, well, and true story, you know, it's like Apple really, with their CarPlay, it's kind of changed the entire market, because it used to be car companies that have to develop audio systems. Then it was like to develop Bluetooth systems. They had to develop navigation systems. Now, with Apple CarPlay, you don't even have to have Bluetooth in your car. You don't have to have nav. You don't have to have a stereo, no CD player. Literally, if you've got a USB port and the car can put Apple CarPlay in, all that stuff we have on our phone, it's like, boom, instant plug-in within half a second. All your stuff on your phone is there in your car. It's like, yeah, Apple really has changed the automotive industry, and I don't think they've got the credit they deserve, because it actually is made Ford, Chevy, Jeep, Dodge, whoever, Lexus, it's made everybody's life a little bit easier, I think, because now Apple can do all the thinking. All they have to do is have a damn USB port in their car.
Exactly, and that's the thing. And now people want to have 2, 3, 4, 5 USB ports, where it was cigarette lighters, you know, if people even know them as cigarette lighters.
Don't age us, Tiff. Don't age us, Tiff.
I know. And people are like, oh, so you mean the thing that I plug in so I can plug in my USB? Yes, that thing that you plug your little cigarette adapter in for your USB. Those things everybody wanted to know back in the day. Does that have a cigarette lighter? Does that have a cigarette lighter? 25 years later, you know, people are like, okay, how many USB ports does this have? Does it have a heated steering wheel? Does it have heated seats? It's all the little creature comforts that you did not know, by the way. Didn't know that I needed a heating steering wheel, so I have one in Lucifer. But those are the things that you didn't even think that you needed, and now that you do, and it's just crazy. But like you said, I don't think Apple's gotten enough credit for how much influence they've put into the automotive industry as well.
Well, and it's just across the board, and I don't feel bad for any company in the tech space, but it's like, even the smartphone market, it's having an Apple product used to be the hipster thing. And, now it's like it's the industry standard. And now if you've got a non-Apple, like, anything, an Android phone, a Samsung, whatever, now you're the hipster. It's like because there's so few people. And, like, you look at cell phone and everybody goes, oh, this Samsung's so amazing. Like, market share, seriously, it's still peanuts. Like, it may be a good phone, but, like, you and I both know everybody in the motorsports space uses an iPhone. I see the blue bubble on 99% of the people I text. Once in a while I'll text somebody and it'll be a green bubble, and I'm like, well, who the hell is this guy without an iPhone,
Well, and exactly. And when you're doing stuff for media broadcasting or even athletes, drivers, anybody that's out there, a lot of times it's so much easier just to airdrop something. Like I started a YouTube channel just a little bit ago. It's #Keystone-approved, has a few videos up there, but I wanted to set up a better thumbnail than what was given the option. So, I go through my phone, I download and I airdrop the actual video to my phone. I go through, watch the video, take a screenshot, take that screenshot and airdrop it back to my Mac, and then I upload it right there. So it makes a lot of things easy. It makes a lot of things streamlined. It makes things work so nicely. And I'm that spoiled, snobby. No, I don't even want to say snobby. Like, I'm that spoiled type of person who has the iPad for work, her iPhone, a Mac, and an Apple Watch.
All right, Tiff. Well, I hate to cut you off there, but you and I could go talking Apple for quite some time because I have a little bit of everything Apple as well. But we do have to take a short break. We come back. It's going to be Robert Height right here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. All killer and no filler.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Would like to welcome my guest this week, 3-time champion Robert Height, to the show. Robert, man, I got to say, I think it was literally almost a year to the date since we last had you on the show, and I guess we just need to start booking these things for the end of November, beginning of December, because you're kind of making them like clockwork now, man.
Well, I hope you pencil me in next year, too. Heck yes.
Well, that being said,
thanks for having me.
No, welcome back, man. And it's one of those where you had one of those. Me as a radio host, I look at things and I go, who should we get on this week? And you got rolling so much this year that it was like, we'll just get Robert next week. We'll just get Robert next week, because there gets to be a point where it's like you just kind of expect the wins to come. Me as a fan, and I'm saying that like you get in that. You guys were in that mode this year, and it was just, man, the wins just started rolling.
It was a dream season. It's not easy to win even a race in the funny car category in NHRA drag racing, and to get 6 like we did and start off with a win out in Pomona and lead the points all year, that's pretty impressive. And it wasn't like we had a big advantage, performance wise on the field. Everybody's really tight and closely matched. We just, I think we race smarter, and, we were more consistent, and that's really what this game's all about. It's not always, who can be the quickest and fastest. It's consistency and making a lot of good runs in a row.
Well, and I think consistency's it. And, and I got to think, you guys, is it one of those? And I know I've talked with Steve Torrance. I had him on a couple of weeks ago, and he talked about this. But, you get the first win, and then it's, it's like the team. You guys just get in sync, and it's like clockwork, you know what I mean? And you just kind of start rolling, you know what I mean? And then you look back, and you're like, man, we had one hell of a stretch there. But I got to feel like it's one of those, once you guys get in sync with each other, things just kind of start rolling, right?
Oh, without a doubt. And, confidence plays a big part in that. When you are doing well and you're winning races, you just feel that, you're going to win the next one you go to. And, we started the year out with 3 new crew members, and we had lost 3 veteran guys that decided to stay home with their families and get off the road. And I was a little nervous about that. But the other veteran guys on my team took the new guys under their wings and really taught them. And I figured there might be a learning period, and we might struggle in the beginning, but we didn't. We hit the ground running, and this is probably the best team I've ever had. So, and good news is we're staying intact in 2020 as well.
Well, and do you think, we'll talk about your background a bit, but, you talk about new crew members coming in and things like that. You feel like you as a driver, I mean, you've been there, you've done that. You've been the new guy coming into John Force Racing before and started out at the ground floor and worked your way up. But do you feel like you as a driver, having worked in all these various positions up and down the ladder, I mean, when one of these new guys comes in, you kind of know what they're feeling, and you know how to welcome them in, and you know what's going through their mind. And, do you feel like that's kind of helped you just because you have worked your way all the way from the bottom up to the top?
Without a doubt. I can relate to them, and I try to get in there and show them that I'll still do the same jobs that I used to and that they're doing, and work side by side with them. And I do think that helps them relate to me more, and the bonding process. It's and I still enjoy it. I love being around the cars and watching these guys work, and sometimes getting my hands dirty. So there's nothing like, Sunday when you're, thrashing between rounds, you have 50 minutes to get it rebuilt and back to the starting line. And that's just, it's the best part of this whole job is being a part of that. And, at the end of the day, when you win a race, it's a team effort, and it's 2 crew chiefs, 7 crew guys, and the driver, all, in sync and working together and making it happen. It's a true team effort.
Well, and does part of you ever look back, knowing that, and as we talked about, and you talked about kind of working your way up, I mean, 3-time champion, you look back on this year, you clipped the 50 win mark. I mean, at some point you stop and you look yourself in the mirror and go, man, we've come a long way. Like, how did I actually get here? Because it's got to be a little bit humbling when you start looking at these career statistics, and, this kid from small town California.
Without a doubt. You look back on it and sometimes it's kind of a blur, 50 wins, that's number 3 all time in funny car. And then now that you have 3 championships, you're on an elite list with, 4 other guys. And those guys are the biggest names in the sport, Kenny Bernstein, John Force, Don Perdome, Raymond Beadle, and now me. Hard for me to believe that I even fit in with that group. And so it's amazing, and never thought all I wanted was to get one run, see what it's like, make a run, and now all this. So, and then I look back, like I said, it's kind of a blur. It's been 15 years, but man, a lot's happened in 15 years, and it's a dream come true. I'm the luckiest guy in the world.
Well, and I know, you'd mentioned something in one of your interviews, and I can't remember, where it was, but you had said that, this year was special because, you had all these successes, but you wanted to win one of these championships where the countdown didn't reflect the outcome of the season you guys had, where you were dominant all year long. And how important was this year? Because I feel like you guys got that. You got that closure this year, right?
We definitely did. 2007, the first year of the countdown, if they hadn't reset the points, I would have been the season-long champion. So, that one got me. But then in 2009, we didn't come on strong until the countdown. So the countdown saved me and got me a championship there. And 17, we were pretty